First up this morning, we've got Kate, Toon and Tony Cosentino. Kate is an award-winning author, entrepreneur and parent to one human and one fur baby. From her humble backyard shed on the Central Coast of New South Wales, she masterminds an ambitious business universe, helping thousands of other humans build their own version of success through digital marketing and business know-how. And Tony has been a WordPress developer since 2008, specialising in solutions for small to medium businesses and conducting detailed website audits. Please give them a round of applause. They come and tell us how to make six figures while you speak.
Coming from here, it's not. Oh, hang on. Hello. Hello. That's better.
Hello.
Can you hear him?
Can you hear me though?
Can you turn his mic down?
No.
Cool. Got our slides. Boop-a-dee-boo. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sunday morning, the best slot to speak in at WordCamp. So I think they put us here to hopefully give you a bit of energy. We've had some coffee. We're feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking to you about how to make six figures while you sleep, how to build scalable digital products for consistent income. So I am Kate Toon, I am that one, and I am a business coach and digital marketing mentor, and I help people with all manner of things from SEO to copywriting to through the line digital marketing. And this is Tony Cosentino.
Hello, I'm Tony Cosentino, as you heard. Known around the place as the WP guy or the WordPress guy. As I said earlier, been at it for 15 years. Started off with small business websites, and then I moved on to coaching, training, audits, maintenance, and of course, digital products.
So I want to take you back to 2018. This is WordCamp 2018. It was a pivotal year, partially because I met that weird bloke in the audience. See the one with the red Mohican? Yes, we met at WordCamp. It is a place of love and romance. So I would love you to just turn to the person next to you and say, I love you. Would that be okay? Yes. Oh, there we go. So it's a great place to pick up a geek for you ladies, or, you know, an amazing, smart, intelligent, beautiful woman if you are a man, or a man if you're a man, or a woman, whatever. Whatever you want to pick up. Let's move on. That didn't go quite as well. So, but the reason I share that slide is also that's when my real business really began to take off. I'd been working in digital products for a couple of years, and that's when everything started to change for me. So today we're going to take you through a few different points. Why the one-to-one model sucks. What is passive income? Things to try before you go passive. The 4 ad pips, which is not the name of a cool Motown band. I'll explain it more later. Slippery little funnels, the tech, he'll do that bit, and the feels.
Yeah.
So this is Warren Buffett. Is he still alive, I think? Just, yes. And he said, if you don't make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. So the idea that we can't just be exchanging our time for money, it's a long route to success. And really, who here works on a one-to-one model? So you're servicing clients one after the other or a few at the same time. Most people, right? It kind of sucks. I was a copywriter for many years, and I found, well, the worst thing was the clients. I mean, God, clients are a pain in the ass. I would love to have a business that didn't have any clients. Limited hours. I only could work 20 hours a week. I had a young son. I started my business when he was in my tummy. My business is now a gangly teenager, and my son is a gangly teenager. I couldn't really take any breaks, so having a holiday felt really difficult. School holidays were majorly challenging, and even if I did take a break, I was constantly worrying about work and checking my emails. Obviously, there's a cap of income. If you're exchanging your time for money, there's only so much time. So therefore, there's only so much income. And you can push your rate up and up, but there does get a point where there's a ceiling, where you are charging the top that you can charge, and that's it. And then the feast and famine, the constant roller coaster of money coming in, then no money, lots of clients, then no clients. It was exhausting. And also, you know, as someone who gets bored very easily, I just found it boring. After 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years of doing the same thing again and again, I was bored. But the main reason was I hated feeling like someone else's bitch. I have objectional defiance disorder. I don't like doing what I'm told. I don't even like doing what I tell myself to do. Like when I write a to-do list the night before and I come in the next morning, I'm like, I'm not doing that. So, you know, with my clients, I felt like they said jump and I said how high.
Yeah, and for me, as you know, as a WordPress developer, you feel like a gangster when you've got that first deposit on the website build and you then you've got to work your ass off to get to the end, and then you've got to try and extract the final payment out of the clients at the end. And then you feel like a bum on the street with no shirt in between.
Just quickly, no one commented on the slide. Clearly this is AI, people. Turn sideways. You wish. So what is passive income? When we think of passive income, it sounds like a bit of a buzzword and a bit cheesy. Often we're thinking about stocks and shares, investing in shares, or property, buying an investment property, possibly being like an angel investor and investing in other people's business, or leasing an asset. Maybe you have a room in your house that you rent out to a student, and they paint pentangles on the wall, and I don't know, right? All of those sound pretty hideous, but the problem with all of those is they require upfront funds. And in about 2015, I had no upfront funds. In fact, I had debt with the tax office. Well done, Kate. So, I didn't have a big sum that I could invest. I have no generational wealth, and I don't have a rich partner. So I was starting from zero, which now
we hadn't met then.
Anyway, moving. God, that was awkward. So I needed a way that I could make passive income with zero capital to begin with. And for me, that was digital products. But before we get into that, I want to talk about things you can do before you go passive. The reason this is important is it gives you a runway into a passive income lifestyle. It enables you to set up the tech, but it also enables you to set up better cash flow and build confidence in yourself. Because if you're going to go out there and sell things, courses, whatever, you need to be quite confident to do that, right? So the first one is productizing your services. One of the biggest problems with using any supplier is you don't know how much it's going to cost. And you do this horrendous dance where you give a ballpark and then they come back and you do a quote and you do a proposal. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And new business feels like a waste of time a lot of the time. You're having these discovery calls that never eventuate. So we want to take away that barrier. And the best way to do that is to put prices on your site and then retrofit your services to those prices. We talk about the three little piggies: baby bear, daddy bear, mummy bear. Mummy bear's at the top because fuck the patriarchy. And you have a low-cost price, a mid-cost price, a high-cost price. And of course, every project's different, but you can have a starting point, and it's indicative to what your other services are going to cost.
Yeah, and how that relates to WordPress developers, I productized my website build, so I had the cost to get a website made, depending on the type of website, which then gave the potential customers guaranteed. They knew how much it was going to cost and what they would get for their money, and that worked quite well. And then these days, though, I don't do that. I've got productized information about my training and my audits and my maintenance and stuff like that.
And of course, you'll probably still have phone calls, but the price is not what they're calling about. They want a bit more affirmation. They have a few more questions, but they're not there to argue about the price. The next one is coaching and training. Now, you may not think you are a coach, but if you've ever told anyone how to do anything, you have learned, you're teaching people how to do stuff. And this is definitely a skill that can be learned. You get better and better over time. When I first started running my SEO workshops, I'd see literally people drooling with boredom. And now one person's drooling. I'm a little bit better than I used to be. So with coaching and training, the idea is that you show people how to do it rather than doing it yourself. And your coaching rate should ideally be at least 3 times your doing rate. So if you're $150 an hour, your coaching rate should be $450 an hour. And you might think, well, I don't want to give away all my secrets. You never will. You will never run out of things to teach. And also you may think that clients will then go and do it themselves, right? And you've lost a client. They were likely never going to pay you because they have a lower price barrier. Or they get the training and go, oh, this is a bit harder than I thought. And then they become your ideal client because they actually understand how hard it is.
Yeah, and how that relates to me is there's a few reasons why I love doing training. The first thing is it gets people over that initial hump with WordPress when they feel like they don't have the confidence to kind of get to the next step. And I find that getting them through that and seeing their eyes light up when they've realised that they can do it and they can use it, it's rewarding. The other thing is it's guaranteed money up front. I never do training without being paid first. So you've got that revenue that you've got. Plus there's a huge scope you can charge. Like people can get me for half an hour on a Zoom call or a full day in-house and everything in between. So it gives you quite a range of things you can charge for. And
getting that money up front obviously massively helps with cash flow. So other things you can do before you go passive, which sure many of you have already done, is to set up retainers where you do a set amount of tasks or a set amount of hours per month for clients and charge on a regular basis the first of each month, and that becomes guaranteed income. Referrals, so having referral partners, if you find a project that you can't do or isn't quite right for you, refer it out and take a small 10% kickback fee. And then subscriptions and maintenance plans, I'm sure many of you offer those. And then affiliate marketing, all of you are using software. Many of the softwares here today have affiliate programs. Look, it's not going to set your world on fire getting that $2.70 from Venture IP, but it all adds up, and it's all different trickles of income.
Yeah, so for me, the website maintenance has been a huge one for me, because I can get to know the customers I work with on a regular basis. Every month I'm working with them. And then when they want to add a new page or a new service, I can quote very accurately, because I know exactly how their website's set up, so they get caught out with quoting too little. And then I've got different tiers of packages, so you can just do software updates, or you can do extra time per month to add some content for them, or do little mini renovations along the way. And it's also guaranteed cash flow, so I'm not bare-chested, bare-bellied in the street in between the deposit and the
That's a
final
horrible
payments.
visual
So
image.
I've got something to smooth out the income.
We're trying to block that image from our mind. But also, you were saying earlier that it helps you quote better when they do have larger projects, because you know
Absolutely.
That the site's so
Accuracy.
Yeah.
They're going to come to you first as well, because you're the person they've most recently spoken to about their website, so you're top of mind every month.
And you become someone that they're going to mention in a room full of other people, like, oh, who looks after your website? And so you'll get a lot of referral work. But you also refer work out. In fact, one of your referral partners is in the room.
Yeah, that's right. So what's great about that is sometimes there's this particular project that's not your jam, not your speciality, but if you have a referral network of other developers that are better at directories or whatever, you can then send that work to them and have some sort of commission worked out between you, so that it's still an income. You don't have to let every person go that you don't fit perfectly with.
And I mean, it doesn't just have to be other WordPress developers. You could have a copywriter that you refer work to, a designer, an accountant, a printer, and build your little village of people that you know and trust. Obviously, you're not going to refer to idiots. So it's better for the client as well, because they don't have to go back to Google and try and find someone themselves. They're getting a good recommendation. So let's talk about moving from one-to-one to one-to-many. Right now, maybe you're servicing clients one at a time, serial monogamist, or you've got a plethora of clients on the go and you're trying to keep them all happy. The idea with one-to-many is you make something once, or you do something once, and you sell it repeatedly, either to the same client or to multiple clients. Obviously scalable. So I started out with a template. I was a copywriter. I worked at Ogilvy, and when I was there, I made a Word document, which was just how I write websites, with guidelines and little notes, and it got better and better over time, and I was showing it to other copywriters, and they were like, oh, I'd love a copy of that. And obviously at first I gave it away for free, but then I was like, I could charge for this, and I think I put it on my site for $7. And I remember when I got my first PayPal ping, I was like, boom, this is the beginning of a journey. And it was. I've since sold about 3,000 copies of that template. It's now $37, and I have 49 other templates on my site. Templates are great. They are low effort. Once you built them, they just kind of sit there. They're not going to make you a huge amount of money, especially with the advent of AI. Templates aren't quite a thing anymore. But it's a nice little earner, and it's low pressure. Like you're not out there selling a course or something massive, low at cost. Talking of courses, my course, The Recipe for SEO Success, I've now been running it for 10 years. We've had over 1,500 people take the big course and 20,000 take the smaller courses. This was my big little idea, right? You kind of want to be on Shark Tank with some amazing invention. You don't need to have a big idea. You don't need to come up with something amazing and innovative. You just need to come up with something a little bit different and put your spin on it. At the time I launched this, there were no SEO courses in Australia. There were no SEO courses by women. And most of the SEO courses were boring, and not to be rude, but run by white men with beards. No disrespect to white men with beards. I am now growing a beard, but that's a whole different story. And these days, and that's made me a fair bit of money, and these days I have memberships and masterminds and courses and books, but it all grew from that first template. You have to start somewhere. Now, I'm going to share my revenue. Why am I doing this? Because it's triggering to share money, right? But a lot of entrepreneurs and business coaches will get up and say they're the big I am, but you don't really know what money they're making. This is my actual income over the last whatever years. So you can see in 2013, 2014, I was a copywriter earning decent money. Then in 2015 and 2016 was when I was building out my courses and memberships. And then what happened in 2018? I met Tony. Yay! And everything changed. But you can see there's a massive jump in income there, and it's gone up and up since then. But revenue is all very well and good. To make $1 million, you could spend $700,000 on Facebook ads, right? So the real thing we want to look at is profit and profit margin, net profit, not gross. So this is when all is said and done. All your expenses, your super, your tax, your income, your salary is out. What's left? And my net profit is usually hovers around 45 to 50%. As a benchmark, most small businesses, 10% is considered a good profit. 20 is amazing, 5 is low. So you can see the margin is pretty amazing. This is money that's entirely yours. It's not needed for the business. It's not needed for your life. It's yours to do exciting things with, hopefully grown-up things. So I will let Tony speak again in a minute. You're kind of seeing the ratio of our relationship at the moment. No. The 4 ad pips. The ad pip stands for Automated Digital Passive Income Product. Bit of a mouthful. I had another one that was like Sisyphus, but it sounded like a venereal disease, so I had to change it to ad pip. So ad pips are digital downloads, which we've talked to, courses, which are all aware of, memberships, which are ongoing communities where you pay a fee, and then masterminds, which are usually some kind of VIP form of the membership with fewer people and a higher price. So those are the 4 that I break down in the book. And in the book, I give you the complete tech stack, show you how to do it, all of it. So the book's amazing. I meant to bring some with me. I forgot, because I'm a really classy entrepreneur. So if you're thinking, this sounds great, I would love an ad pip. Where do you start? The first thing is to look inward. And to think about what you're good at. What is your ability? Now, you're not here to push yourself out of your comfort zone. This should be something that is so in your comfort zone, you could do it in your sleep. Get what I'm saying? So we're not trying to do something that requires loads of training for ourselves. We want to do something that we do every day. Something that you probably think is boring and easy, but to someone like me who's not a WordPress developer would rock my world, right? Then we have to think about customer demand. Do people actually want it? There's many things you could build and try and sell, but people might not buy them. Then you have to think about speed. Can you execute this quickly? You know, if you're going to build a 3-month guide to plugins, you know, how long is that going to take before you can actually get it to market? Maybe you just need to build a 5-day course first and see if you can sell that. And finally, enjoyment. You're going to be doing this for a long time. It took me 3 years to get to the point where I could get rid of all my clients. I've now been selling my SEO course for 10 years, making the same joke about where you find a dead body, page 2 of the search results, again and again and again. So you have to be able to find something that you're going to enjoy for the long term. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme, but it is a get-rich-slow scheme. And now, Tony. Yay.
And how that relates to me is if you look at the Venn diagram, the custom demand, I think there is a gap in the market for new WordPress developers, newish WordPress developers, in Australia particularly, and then overseas as well. As far as speed goes, I want to be able to help as many people as possible, so the one-to-many model is going to work better for me than one-on-one. With ability, using WordPress for 15 years and dealing with clients, I think gives me enough of a foundation to help other people that are earlier in their journey. And the enjoyment part is community. I started a weekly coffee catch-up with freelancers 15 years ago, and we used to connect via Twitter. We'd go to a physical location, have coffee, and talk about our freelance journeys, and I absolutely loved that, and I'm so looking forward to getting back to that kind of community vibe and helping each other as a group.
So he's ticked off his Venn diagram, and then we need to think about what our customers want. So obviously we have to think about budget. Some people have got a lot of money, some people don't have money. Some people will pay a premium to have a more elite product where there's fewer reviews, and some people want to pay a low cost. Time. You might think that you need to give people as much time as possible, but it gives people a problem. I found that when I started to add more and more content to my membership, people left because they were like, I'm not making use of it as much as I should. So when I reduced the amount of content, people were happier, right? There were fewer things to do. Sounds weird, but it's true. Connection. Do people want to connect with other people in a community space, or do they want to feel that they're almost having a one-to-one service with you? It's just they're not paying one-to-one prices. And then level. Are you teaching people right at the beginning of their journey, or are you teaching people who are really far into their journey, okay? All different things we need to consider.
Right, so let's overlay that to my setup.
For a membership?
For a membership, yeah. With a budget, the budget I wanted to keep it low cost, so that's $47 a month. Even cheaper if it's paid annually, 2 months free. For connection, I want to use Facebook private group for community parts so people can easily interact with something they've already used, probably. And then the website for holding residual content of resources and things content that's been put together that they can use and come back to all the time. As far as time goes, I think in your journey as a developer, you've got more time at the beginning. I know I was...
Time is all you've got at the beginning, yeah.
So all you got. You get less clients, right? You've just got time to fill. So I think that's with the time factor. And then with the level, I'm saying newish WordPress developers up to 5 years. Kate believes it's 3. I'd love for people to let me know what your thoughts are later, whether I'm aiming 5's too much or 3's better, or anyway.
I think the first 3 years are often the hardest. Most businesses fail within the first year or the first 3. So for me, that's where you really need the help with how, and it's not just about plugins and tech.
No.
How do you win clients? How do you onboard them? How do you do profit first? All that business side. You might be a great developer, but not a great business person. That's what I found with copywriters. Great writers, terrible business people. And it's the business side that you need to learn. So, how do you build an ad pip? I'm just going to go through it again. Automated, digital, passive income product. Everyone say ad pip. No, don't. So the first thing you do, and it sounds uncomfortable for many of us, who here considers themselves an introvert or an ambivert at least, yeah? Anybody an extrovert? You're an extrovert.
Bit of both.
Yay! Yay for you!
Ambivert's both.
Yay! Okay. But it can be hard to put yourself out there wherever there is. But you kind of do need to build a personal brand. There are many ways to do this. You do not need to dance on reels if you don't want to. If you do want to, brilliant. Building a personal brand is really about deciding how you want to be represented in the world and stepping out from behind your logo and being the face of your business, however much you show that face. What are your values? What do you stand for in this world? And what's your personality, good and bad? Like if you are super anal and have massive attention to detail, great, someone wants that. If you are more casual and fly by night, great, some people want that. I don't want my accountant to be dancing on reels. I want him to be really fastidious and working on Excel and probably quite boring, to be honest. That's what I want from an accountant. So you don't need to invent a fake personality, but you do need to embrace your existing personality. And if you don't have a personality, make one up. So when you're building a personal brand, video, I would say, is the most powerful way to build a personal brand. It's face-to-face connection. You can see the white of your eyes and, you're making that immediate connection, your voice and your face. But you can do it through commenting. Adding great comments and dialogue to other people's content. You can be a content generator, a content curator, sharing other people's content, or a content commenter, commenting on other people's content. All of those are valid strategies. Obviously, speaking at events like this is great. Appearing on podcasts, having your own podcast, guest posting still has value, and networking. You are all building a personal brand. Everybody you've introduced yourself to will not remember the name of your business, but they will remember your name. So whether you like it or not, I'm going home and I'm Googling your name, probably forgotten your business name. So Tony, oh God, this picture.
Speaking of branding.
I would not have dated that man.
So yeah, my hair has been a big part of my branding, I think, over the years. You can see I started off as the ultimate geek style. Then I splashed out and went, I'm just going to get the mohawk and be done with it. And that worked really well. It's easy to see on social media and at events and things. And over time, as my network has grown, I've kind of slightly scaled back the hair branding.
No, you're not just hair, though. There is more to his brand than hair. But you can see that consistency in colour. One would hope, right? I think a little bit more. I think you would also say that you're kind of, I don't know, what would you say? What's your personal brand? I'm putting you on the spot now.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you stand for? What's your personality?
Always looking for new innovation.
Very curious.
I don't like to get stuck in a particular format. I always want to keep ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and very community focused.
Which as a developer, I think is critical at this point in time.
Mm-hmm. Community focused.
Love community. That's probably been one of the things I wanted to do from the beginning. Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
The community part.
But one of the main ways that you can really quickly build a personal brand is to be contrary. Now, I'm not saying you need to go out there and share your views on religion and politics unless you want to. I actually do share my views on politics and world issues because I'm happy to deal with the consequences. And I do get emails saying, I'm not going to follow your emails anymore because you don't like Donald Trump. And I'm like, brilliant, bye-bye. Because I don't want customers that I don't want. But I'm in the position where I can make that choice. And I know many of you would not want to share that because you don't want to alienate people at the early part of your business. And that's fine. You can share what you want. You don't need to share pictures of your kids. You can share pictures of your pets, though. They really don't mind. Okay, so use your pets, it's very powerful. But being contrary, having a standpoint. With SEO, when I started, as I said, men with beards, it's a dark art. Normal people can't do it. You have to be highly technical. I don't believe in any of that. So I went out and said, it's easy. It can be really fun. Let's have a laugh. Let's take the piss. Big part of my course is just memes of Ryan Gosling saying stuff about SEO, you know? It doesn't have to be so tedious. We can take our businesses seriously, but we don't need to take ourselves so seriously. Being helpful. I mean, I think this is a big part of your brand. You're always in community. It spends more time in communities helping other people than doing work.
Yeah.
So being helpful, you know, if you go into a community and you answer someone else's comment, obviously you help that individual, but everyone else sees that as well. And as long as you don't finish it up with a pitch, you know, you just genuinely help to be helpful, then that's a great way to build your brand. But the main thing is to be yourself. Good and bad. You know, a lot of people, you know, someone told me the other day, oh, I said I was in your membership. And she said, the woman said to her, oh, that Kate Toon, she's a bit much. She's a bit much. I was like, thanks for sharing that with me. But she is a bit. I find her a bit, he finds her a bit much. But, you know, you're not going to be for everybody. You don't like everybody. You know, when you're on social media, there's people you block and unfollow just because one of their nostrils is too big or something. You know, you don't even know why. They just get on your tits. You're going to get on people's tits, and that's okay. Finally, the fears. As soon as you tell anybody about your ad pip, someone's going to say, oh, that sounds a bit like such and such's membership that they had 2 years ago. Oh, isn't that already existing in the US? Yes. Everything's been done before. I mean, literally, we're in a room of WordPress, but you all do the same thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that it's been done before or someone bigger than better. I feel like I'm the Temu version of Amy Porterfield. But some people want the Temu version of Amy Porterfield. Thank you very much. So fear is something that you've worked on as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, worrying about, you know, whether anyone wants to come along to a membership and, you know, follow what I've got to say. That's definitely something you've got to come to grips with and work through.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, when you launch your thing and one person signs up and it's your mum, no one needs to know. I saw someone on X the other day being congratulated on their fantastic launch, and the head of the company was brave enough to say it's actually our 17th launch. You just didn't notice the other 16, you know? So I am not good enough is going to come up a lot. It comes up even just in day-to-day business, but now you're widening your audience. You know, maybe 1% of your audience right now dislikes you and thinks you're an idiot. As your audience gets bigger, it's still going to be 1%. There's just more in that 1%, right? So how do we get people from, I don't know who you are, to take my money, take my credit card? It's all about funnels. Funnels sounds like a dirty word. It sounds very American, like we're forcing people to buy things they don't want. But we're not. No one goes in your funnel unless they're vaguely interested. You are selling to people who want to buy. They just need to build trust, affirmation, and know everything they need to know about your product or service. Imagine that the person looking at your page is not the person buying, but they have to go to someone else who has the credit card and explain what they're buying and why it's good. You're giving them that information. You're giving them that data. So top of funnel is generally the waving your arms around, the social media. Most of us live in top of funnel land. Middle of funnel is where they've made a first step. They've signed up to your lead magnet. They've bought something small from you. And then bottom of funnel is where they have made the commitment and they are part of your gang and they're stuck in your funnel. And as you can see, fewer and fewer people as you go down. That's what marketing is, right? It's as much as about alienating people as attracting people. We only want the people who want us, okay? So this is the funnel for the recipe for SEO success. I have free groups and free courses and checklists. Then we have a 10-day challenge, which is about $200, which is a tripwire, and then the big course, which is about $3,000. Nobody who isn't willing to pay $200 is going to be willing to pay $3,000. You know, it's a tester. If they won't get their credit card out, they're probably never going to get their credit card, and that's okay. I'm happy to help people for free, but obviously I want some people to buy the big thing. And this is Tony's funnel, which is a bit shorter. He has a short funnel.
That's right.
Sorry,
that's not right. No.
It's a huge manly funnel.
It's a simplified funnel because I'm not. As, you know, Kate's funnel has progressively gotten bigger over the years, so...
Moving on.
So I'm going to be focusing on social media, reactivating my podcast, appearing on other podcasts, using my blog to put out information about WordPress and tools and business advice and all that sort of thing, which will then have an offering of a lead magnet from all of those channels, which then goes to an email nurture sequence, which finally offers them access to my membership.
And here is his lead magnet with a cool little QR code with a little person in it, which is quite cool. How did you do that? Standard tool? Yeah.
No, I've got there's a good QR code generator, which I'll mention later.
So we'll get your cameras out, take a photo. By the way, if you take a photo and share it on social media during the session, you could win a copy of my book.
I should tell what's it about, isn't it?
No. We need to get a move on.
Right.
It's about plugins.
Keep going. I'll talk about it later.
I'm sure it's interesting to you. No, it's plugins. 10 amazing, something good.
It's a very in-depth guide about plugins, the good, the bad, and the meh.
We've only got 9 minutes and he's giving me threatening looks, so we're going to speed up. So then we just take them through the journey, right? This is marketing 101. We get them from awareness through to, I can't read it because I've not my glasses on. What does that say? Interest.
Interest, yeah.
Desire, action. But the two crucial stages with AdPips are actually about retention and loyalty. You want to get to the point where someone in a group says, who teaches SEO? And everyone else in the group says, Kate Toon. That's what you want to get. That's the dream, right? So people are recommending you when you're not in the room. So let's talk about the tech. We're going to have to whiz through this quite quickly.
That's all right.
We've waffled on.
Easy.
So
what we want to say is with a membership, you don't need to have Thinkific, Teachable, Thrivecart, Kajabi, Circle, or School. You can do it all with WordPress and your favourite email marketing tool. And the theme, as far as themes go, pick your favourite theme. I happen to like using Divi, Cadence, and Bricks, but you could use whatever you're comfortable with. And with the common plugins that Kate and I both use are Gravity Forms, WooCommerce, WooCommerce memberships, WooCommerce subscriptions.
And I don't use an LMS at all because I hate the linear journey of an LMS, being forced to complete modules. I just have pages protected in WooCommerce, so people can jump about in the course and revisit modules. We do also use quiz plugins and completion plugins as well to give that slight gamification. But one thing I would say is never have a leaderboard. Leaderboards suck. Because yes, someone's at the top of the leaderboard, but guess what? You're at the bottom, and that's a terrible experience. It's a bit of a bro marketing method, if you ask me.
Now, where we differ slightly is I'm using MailChimp as my email marketing tool, and it just needs a few more plugins. The Gravity Forms add-on for MailChimp and the MailChimp for WooCommerce plugin, whereas Kate's using ActiveCampaign, which then has the Gravity Forms add-on, the ActiveCampaign plugin, and ActiveWoo, which connects WooCommerce to ActiveCampaign. For the community, we're using Facebook.
And lots of people are angry about that. Like, why don't you do an off-platform? Because it's a pain in the arse. We all hate trying to remember logins for anything. We're already on Facebook. Most people of our generation are. I'm going to say that we're in the same generation. We're probably not. I don't know what I am. Am I X or Z? I don't know. Well, I'm something. It's easier. I've tried Circle. I've tried all the other ones. Trying to drag people onto a new platform is really challenging. So I like Facebook.
And the good news is this QR code has a link to all of those tools that we've just talked about, including the QR code generator that puts a nice little graphic in the middle.
So the point of all of this is, yes.
Did you get time? Did everyone get that QR code?
And take a photo of us as well. Look sexy. Go on.
They need to focus on the QR.
It's so boring. Okay, let's talk about the feels. So, this sounds like a way to make lots of money, and it can be, but money is kind of irrelevant unless you have a why behind that money. For me, money is freedom and money is choice. Going down this path has allowed me to diversify my income. I'm not reliant on a single client or a single income stream. During COVID, when I used to do a lot of speaking, that went away. I would have been very poor if I hadn't had multiple income streams. It also gives me choice. I can turn down that annoying client. I can fire the client that's not behaving well. Whereas before, I felt like I just had to keep going regardless of how rude they were because I needed that second payment. Now, I've got to the position where I've managed to pay off my debts with the tax office. Well done, Kate. I have a salary now. I pay myself super. I've even got insurance. I am so grown up. I am 50. You would hope that I would get there. The main one is I wanted to create some generational wealth for my son. This is him a long time ago. I'm not allowed to take photos of him anymore because he's 50. I wanted to create some generational wealth for him so he had a slightly easier life. Not too easy. I don't want him to be a wanker, but I did just want him to have a slightly easier path and be able to support him as he gets started. And the best thing is, my passive income has allowed me to buy a bookshop, which wasn't a dream I even had until I had it. And so come to Umina and visit my bookshop. It's amazing.
And for me, the reason behind this, that I want to have more time, is to have more time because I've got 45 kids, right? So I need the...
And another one? No, I'm joking.
No. So I won't have time to spend with them on a daily, weekly, annual basis, and of course more time with this one. So we can have adventures in our van, and then later on travel outside of
Travel
Australia
the world.
as well.
Yeah, might go to Wollongong. So that's it, really. We've got time for Q&A. If you would like to get a copy of my book, I will sign it and send you a bookmark. I didn't get a picture in my QR code. No. So if you want to get a copy of my book, you can buy it from me. It really is a manual. It's not all about my journey. It's literally step-by-step how to do it. It's got email scripts, funnel scripts, social media scripts, all the tech that you need and more.
An example of my process as well.
And Tony is featured in the book. And then this is, again, it's Tony's lead magnet. If you missed